It was meant to be a night of music, a drill video shoot. Lights, lyrics, and teenagers chasing their version of fame on a quiet estate in North London. But within hours, 2 young men would be dead. 15-year-old Leonardo Reed and 23-year-old Clevi Shekaj weren't gang members. They weren't carrying weapons. And they had nothing to do with the brewing rivalry that led 5 masked attackers to hunt them down. This is the story of how a music video became the setting for a deadly case of mistaken identity, and how a gang of men brought knives to a camera shoot and left a city in mourning. On the evening of June 29, 2023, around 40 young people gathered at Elthorne Estate in Archway, Islington. They were filming a drill music video, part of a growing movement in UK rap culture known for raw lyrics and street credibility. The estate buzzed with energy. Young men adjusted tracksuits and puffer jackets. Beats thumped from a Bluetooth speaker. Phones were out capturing every verse. But beneath the surface was something more volatile. In recent years, drill music videos, often filmed in public estates, have become lightning rods for police scrutiny and gang suspicion. The boundary between art and conflict can blur dangerously fast. Local police had already been called to the scene. Earlier that night, due to the noise, officers arrived, saw no immediate risk and moved on. But by 11:30 p.m, only a small group remained. Among them, Leonardo Reed and Clevi Shekaj. Neither had come for the music video. Leonardo had just left a nearby gathering. He was full of potential, having recently completed school. Clevi, 23, was a quiet figure in the local community, a hard-working Albanian man who kept to himself. Neither had any known gang ties, but that wouldn't protect them. At the same time, another group was mobilizing, led by 21-year-old Lorik Lubki. 5 masked men, Abel Chunder, Jason Furtado, Eden Clark and Xavier Papon, armed themselves with knives and converged on the Elthorne Estate. Their intent was to retaliate against supposed rivals they believed were filming that night. According to court records, Lucci had made over 50 phone calls in just 2 hours. He rallied his crew, arranging transport and planning the hit. One call to a taxi driver was chilling in hindsight. "I'm in a bit of a rush," he said. Shortly after 11:30 p.m, the group stormed the estate. Chaos erupted. Witnesses described a frenzy of movement, confusion and shouting. The masked men struck indiscriminately. Leonardo was stabbed repeatedly in the chest and collapsed. Clevi was attacked moments later and left bleeding on the ground. Another man, Abdullah Abdullahi, suffered life-altering injuries but managed to survive. Within minutes, the attackers vanished into the night. Leonardo was pronounced dead at the scene. Clevi died shortly after in hospital. Lucci and his accomplices believed they were launching a targeted retaliation, but they had the wrong people, at the wrong place, at the wrong time. Police later confirmed that neither Leonardo nor Clevi had any link to the drill video or to any gang. This was not a gang war, it was a case of mistaken identity, and it destroyed families. The court heard that Lucci's paranoia had spiraled. A single rumour, passed via encrypted messages and phone calls, had triggered the fatal plan. In the space of one evening, assumptions became action, and action turned into murder. The Metropolitan Police Major Crime Unit launched a full-scale investigation. Witness statements began trickling in. Surveillance footage was recovered from the estate's network of cameras. Investigators poured through phone data, revealing the intricate web of calls leading up to the attack. 4 of the suspects were identified and arrested within weeks. But Lucci, the ringleader, had already vanished. Detectives traced him across Europe. He had fled to Kosovo, where he believed he could avoid extradition, but they caught him. British authorities worked with international partners, and after several months, Lucci was returned to the UK in handcuffs to face justice. The trial, held at the Old Bailey, lasted 15 weeks. Prosecutors laid out the horrifying timeline. They showed the jury Lucci's call records. CCTV was played in court showing the masked group approaching the estate. Expert witnesses testified about gang tensions in the area, and families took the stand to speak about who Leonardo and Clevi truly were. The jury listened in silence. Some cried. And after 53 hours of deliberation, the verdicts were read. Guilty. All 5 men were convicted of murder and attempted murder. Detective Inspector Jim Barry, who led the case, told reporters, "This was a shocking and senseless act of violence." The community around Elthorne Estate remained shaken. Leonardo's family described him as a bright spark, funny, gentle and full of promise, a teenager who should have had his whole life ahead of him. Clevy's family, heartbroken, said he was a caring young man who had overcome hardship to build a better life in the UK. He worked hard and stayed away from trouble. He didn't deserve to die. In the wake of the murders, memorials sprang up. Mural artists painted tributes. Anti-knife crime groups marched through the borough. Candles were lit in silence, and football shirts bearing Leonardo's name were draped over railings. But for many, this case symbolized something deeper: how misinformation and fear, when combined with weapons, can end lives in an instant. 2 lives taken, 5 lives sentenced, all because of a rumor, all because of a knife. Leonardo and Clevey were not part of any street war. They didn't choose violence, they were victims of it. In a city grappling with rising youth crime, their story stands as a tragic reminder that behind every headline is a grieving family, a shattered community, and a future cut short. This is not just a story, it's a warning. In memory of Leonardo Reed and Clevey Shakaj,